just got back from Louisiana. What an amazing adventure. I don't know if I'd ever go again. To be determined. It was quite crazy out there. Very, very much a party town, and I'm more into adventure and not party. I don't party well. So I'm here. The food I didn't get to experience because a lot of the food is Southern cooking, Creole cooking, and Cajun cooking, and a lot of it involves carbohydrates. A lot of carbohydrates. So if you are on this ketogenic, carnivore, ketovore journey with me, you would understand that going anywhere that involves a lot of that kind of style of cooking, can't really partake. But here we are in the kitchen, and I have the video from the adventures that I did. I'm going to do this in a two-part series because, boy, there was a lot of adventure there. Now, I do have to apologize. Somewhere in this whole vacation / adventure that I took, I lost my microphone. I have no idea where it went. Did it make it back with me? I am not sure. Who knows? So I have to go to the land of Amazonia to get a new one. But I decided that I'm going to make a couple of dishes. The first one that I'm thinking about doing is going to be jambalaya. And there's two types. There's the Cajun type, and then there's the Creole type. I'll explain more here in a bit. But then I'm also going to throw together a hurricane, because that was created in New Orleans, very famously, in the 1940s. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get back to getting this going, and yeah, let's get started.
Distant shadows on the water, war cry erupts, steel clash sounding hotter. Viking drums pound, heartbeats quicken in the night. Call of the ravens, signal for the fight. Sicily, moon is marching, moon retreat. Thundering steps, war drums, say heavy beat. Blood on the field, flowing from the bow. Stories told, the firelight, legends growing old. Ravens calling, call, and trusted. Drums of war detail, no place to pretend.
I'm going to start with carnivore, and then I'm going to work my way down to ketovore, and then keto, and then low carb if you want low carb. There's two styles. There's the Cajun style, which came from the old Acadians. Those were the French settlers, and they weren't really on the up and up. They were kind of my kind of people. They were the miscreants from the French wars and stuff. And they were sent to the colonies down in Louisiana swamps to settle. So the Acadians turned into Cajun foods. Cajun foods, way better, in my opinion, whereas the Creole had much more influences from all other places, and more herbaceous. The jambalaya, for example, they call it red jambalaya, and that includes bell peppers and red peppers and onions and also tomatoes. So obviously we're going to stick with the Cajun style jambalaya because we can definitely make it into a carnivore dish. If you wanted to, you could replace a lot of these with the onions and the bell peppers and the peppers and the other stuff. If you want to do tomatoes. My goodness, this is your dish. I'm just teaching you how to throw it together. Anyway, I picked up that Cajun style sausage, and we're going to use a knife here. It's one of my kitchen utensils. I'm going to just cut these up. I don't know, does it need to be smaller? I don't know. No idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our sausage to a hot pan. Meanwhile, I threw some of this Meanwhile, I threw some of this cognac rice stuff in this pan to fry up and brown and stuff like that. That'll be the keto version. Right now I'm gonna start with carnivore, but I'm frying this up, so ignore that. I'm gonna throw the sausage, the Cajun sausage, into a frying pan. Fry this up on probably that much. Looking pretty good. Okay, we're going to get this going and browned, and then add our other ingredients. One of the first destinations after getting to New Orleans was taking a trip down the Mississippi River aboard the riverboat Creole Queen. Starting at the Poydras docks, we boarded the boat, sat on the top deck, and waited for it to leave port. We then passed by many famous sites, including Jackson Square, the St. Louis Cathedral, the French Market, and Pontalba apartment buildings. And we passed by the U.S. Ready Reserve ship Cape Kennedy and the Jackson Barracks, still in use today. To my dismay, we passed by a huge factory. This is the Domino's Sugar Factory. Domino's sugar plants produce 24 billion pounds of sugar from cane sugar annually. They have 10 factories. This is one of them. The ship finally stopped at Chalmalty Battlefield. The Malles Beauregard House was built by Madeleine Penetier Malles. Now it stands as a historic structure, but it is not open for public tours. Instead, the public museum actually sits further back in the battlefield itself. Inside the museum were many artifacts from the War of 1812, including uniforms and helmets. There's also an interactive display of the battlefield and actors reenacting and explaining the battle. After walking the battlefield, we made our way back into the Creole Queen for our journey back to the dock where we first started. It was quite an amazing trip. Here's where we get creative. We can add chicken, we'll add the sausage, and we can definitely add more shrimp if we like shrimp. Also mussels and scallops and all sorts of different seafood you can add. I don't know about beef, but why not, right? If you really wanted to be adventurous, you could also probably add bacon or pork. Not sure how that would all pan out, but I'm definitely going to add the sausage and then let this carnivore creation kind of play out. I'm also going to add to it cayenne pepper, oregano, paprika, because I have such a hard time pronouncing that, a little bit of thyme sea salt, and garlic powder. If you're a vampire, this is not for you. But everybody else, why not, right? So. Oh, I am not a chef. Where did you learn how to cut, slice, and dice? Viking training school. They handed us swords, not cutting utensils. I don't know if I'm making those or not. Ow! my eye. Oops. So sorry. I just got the editor in the groin. Hold on. Man, that is just frying up a storm back there, isn't it? It's just... Okay, I'm just chopping these up. No particular. I know all the professional chefs are just sitting there just... and I'm just sitting here like... me. You know what really kills me? When those chefs are like... And I'm like, ay, I have to look where I'm chopping. This is the Carnivore Cajun Jambalaya. You can add other various meats in here. Hold on, let me stop doing this. You can add other various meats in here, but this looks really delicious. I'm gonna let this rest while I make the other version. Now, as you add ingredients, it'll turn into ketovore and then keto. So, let's get started. Now we're going to do the Creole version, which is going to use a little bit of, that's about a tablespoon of tomato paste. You can also just use tomatoes. Tomato paste works better. And then I'm going to use this cognac root. There's going to be some carbs in here. The more things you add with carbs, the less carnivore or ketovore and the more keto it becomes. And if you add a lot of carbs, it becomes low carb. Half of an onion and some sweet peppers. Stir this up a little bit. Ah! Ah! You didn't see that. While I'm waiting for this to simmer down, I might as well make the hurricane. Now, in New Orleans, the O'Brien's Pub decided in the 1940s to get rid of the rum. How did they get rid of the rum? They made the hurricane drink. Famous, you can walk around the streets with it in New Orleans. It's really popular. Everybody sells their own version, so really honestly, you cannot go wrong. I looked at it, and yes, I did taste it. And it was quite an interesting drink. So all it comprises of, this is a pineapple drink. I'll put this over here. All it comprises of is orange juice, a little bit of grenadine, maybe some simple syrup, depending on who makes it now, and lime juice. And you can add your own version if you want more grenadine in there or whatever. So I decided, oh, and then also, so I've got tangerine, and then what is this? Passion fruit. This also has pineapple in it. It's just a flavoring. Not sponsored, none of these are sponsored, but I did find skinny mixes. And skinny mixes, they're awesome. You can get their products online in the United States. I'm not sure about Europe or anywhere else, but United States, you can definitely order skinny mixes online, and they're starting to sell in stores. And that's how I found them out. Anyway, so it's just a passion fruit, kind of a citrus drink, and then on the top, your cherry and rum. You don't have to add rum, but if you definitely want to walk around with a non-alcoholic beverage there in New Orleans and say it's a hurricane, I don't know what you'd call it, non-alcoholic drink, then this is the way to do it. You find a passion fruit zero sugar drink. Of course, you can try for clean ingredients. I'm not sure of other ingredients. I just found this right here. I'm gonna just add a little bit right here, not too much. And then I found an orange tangerine mixer, so I'm gonna squirt that in there, like so. And then some of the bartenders, they'll add a simple syrup to sweeten it and get rid of the rum flavor. So I'm going to add a little simple syrup. And of course, these are non-sugar. So even though this would be a dirty keto carnivore drink, you can say you had a hurricane. And of course, the grenadine. See, right now it looks like a hurricane, actually. If you wanted to really fancy and schmancy it up, you can layer it so that it, they call it ombres up. Or you can ombre it down, or however you want it. Anyway. This looks pretty good. We're going to add the tomato paste right here. And mix this around. And our shrimp. You could add sausage, you could add tuna, you could add chicken, you could add mussels, you could add pretty much anything to this. But as we get this incorporated, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit. This has thyme in it. I'm going to add a little bit of smoked bacon because why not? The last bit of oregano. A little bit of garlic. Little bit of paprika. And some black pepper. If I can figure out how to open this. I don't even know how old this is. Is this still good? Is black pepper still good after years? I don't know. You can add white pepper as well. Okay, we're going to mix this all together and let it rest. Obviously turning off the stove first. Now I was just informed that we could add broth to both of these and let them simmer down if we really wanted to. I didn't. I'm going to try the keto version first. Hans isn't here, so oh well.
Guess you have to eat your own cooking.
I know. Good thing I didn't add any poison this time. Oh my goodness. That is delicious. I was hesitant to even attempt to try this cognac. Cognac is messy. Okay, cognac is messy, and when you buy it in a bag, this was hard to find, first of all. And when you buy it in a bag, it's really messy to get out of. I don't even know. There's still remnants in here, and they go all over the place. But it's absolutely delicious. And yes, you could potentially use it for a rice substitute. And the flavor combination. How do they say in France? Magnifique? Is that how they say it? Magnifique. I don't remember. Anyway, that is to die for. Too bad I'm not keto because that is delicious. Okay, so I'm going to taste my hurricane now. Look how beautiful. I could drink this all day long. It is delicious. That is delicious. With the passion fruit, the little bit of orange, and the grenadine, and the simple syrup, it just tops it. You could add rum if you really, really, really wanted to, but doing this as a non-alcoholic beverage, yes, it's a little bit dirty, but for a summer day or just walking around in the swamp, perfect. Okay, last but not least. Hold on. All right, now for the carnivore version. Now this was the shrimp as rice and the sausage, and I didn't add anything else to it. You could absolutely add all sorts of different meats to it. Chicken or tuna or whatever you wanted to do. Halibut, just for the halibut. Oh my goodness. I don't know which is better. I like them both. I like the Cajun And I like the Creole. This is good food. Okay, definitely. Oh my gosh. Well, I know what I'm going to be making a lot more of. I am thoroughly impressed and thoroughly happy that this, well, made the cut. Join me next time. You'll learn a little bit more about my trip and maybe beignets, because everybody out there was talking about the beignets. Shouldn't talk with my mouth open. Or full loop. Kind of hard to not talk with your mouth open. Anyway. Everybody out there was talking about beignets, and I looked at them, and I've already had beignets, so I said, well, I'll figure out how to make my own. It's going to be a keto version, but what is a beignet? It's a French donut. So we're going to try it next time. You'll learn a little bit about the graveyard that it was the cemetery. The cemetery that I decided to wander into, and you'll learn a little bit more of the history about Louisiana in the next video. So stay tuned, and maybe you'll try the beignet with me. Beignet. Yay! Anyway, until next time, my friends, I gotta stop talking and just end it. Just gonna end it. Anyway, lick it till. Skål!
Ravens call echo, battle cry crescent, drums of war dictate, no place to pretend. Warriors stand strong, faith in their hands, till saga ends, we conquer these lands.
They're French Canadian. French Canadians. Anyway, they went down to Louisiana and they took over the swamp. And then they had a good time doing it. So that's all I am gonna say. Oh no! Oh no, this stuff is horrible! Oh my gosh, what the heck? Ah! Get back in there. I have no idea no idea what I'm doing.
I'd say the pan was a little too hot.
I think so too. That is gonna be. Whoa! Whoa! They're making a jump for it. Like, no! No! It's like popcorn. Oh! Oh! You didn't see that? Nobody saw that. Good thing I clean around here. Ah! You didn't see that. And in driving through Texas, a nice lady, I can't remember her name. Why are the dogs barking? Shut up. Ugh. Okay. I was driving through Texas, and there was a really nice lady